Good morning and welcome to Monday Morning Motivation. I'm Norman Hartman, ready to get the day started. Hopefully you guys are as well. Hey, had another exciting weekend. Hopefully you guys had an exciting weekend. Looking forward to the week and getting started here. As we get started, good morning, guys. I was thinking about the fall weather and in anticipation of this fall weather that will be here pretty soon. Kind of thinking about the fall and things that I like. I love the colors. The oranges, the reds, the yellows, even some of the brown as well. Some other things I love about fall, chili. And I was kind of taken back this morning as I thought about football. And one of the things that I really loved about the fall season was the bonfires. If you guys ever played football or played sports or cheered or had a team spirit, school spirit, you remember some of those bonfires and things of that nature. And so fall is just a good time, very enjoyable time, not too hot, not too cold, just right. And so just excited about that. Hey, if you had a chance to look at the title, you saw that success, or the title is Success is at least a two-man job. Success is at least a two-man job. We've always heard that we're stronger together. We've heard about unity. We've heard about all these different things. Even last week I talked about collaboration. But I want to talk about why that is. So I talked a little more, or read a little more, about this success book, how to win friends and influence people. And if you guys can think back, maybe 3 weeks ago, I was talking about just the trouble I was having navigating through this book. I wasn't able to really read it at top speed like I normally read books, just because of the information and the way that it was speaking to me. It was really showing me a lot about myself, revealing things that I didn't like, things that I need to change, things that I need to become better at overall as a person. But thank God I'm able to kind of sift through the book a little faster, process information. Still not my top speed. I'm near the end of the book. I'm about 3/4 of the way there. So I'm looking forward to completing that within the next week or so. But success being a two-man job. So some of you may have heard this story before, and I've actually got it from the book. And it's about a competition between the wind and the sun. And so ages ago, there was this competition between the wind and the sun. And there was this old man, and the wind made a bet to the sun. And he said, hey, I bet you that I can make this old man take off his jacket faster than you can, okay? And so the sun said, okay, you're on. So the clouds appear, the sun hides behind the clouds, and the winds begin to blow. And this little old man, what he does is he starts to hold on to his jacket and clenches it. So the harder the wind blows, the more this man clenches onto his jacket. And so the wind says, okay, I've had my turn. He wasn't able to have the old man take his jacket off. And the sun just comes out and he smiles on the old man. And the old man willingly takes off or relents his jacket. And so the sun explains to the wind that you can do more by being kind to people than you can by forcing people. And when we're moving forward in our purpose, a lot of times there's this certain amount of force that comes with it, right? This dogmatic nature, this resilience that we have to have in order to motivate ourselves to be the best that we can be. Because there are so many different things that are out there, so many different factors that try to keep us from being our best selves, or keep us from being who God has called us to be. And so if we're going to be the people that God has called us to be, then we have to be purposeful. We have to be resilient. But that is reserved for that piece of it. That is reserved for the piece that motivates us and pushes us forward. But when we're dealing with people, we have to wear a different hat. We kind of have to take off our hats and put on a different hat, put on a team player hat. And what I want us to realize is that the people are the most valuable assets that we have in our life, okay? Because when we go through our lives, when we're thinking about our purpose and we're thinking about striving towards success, whether it's economically, whether it's socially, regardless of whatever area it is in our life, there's this forcefulness, or there's this dogmatic nature that we have in doing that, but we can't trample over people in the midst of that. We have to learn how to collaborate with people. We have to learn how to work with people. So the value of people, or the value in people, is that we have to be interested in what other people are interested in. And I know this can be very difficult, because people are interested in all types of things. Some people are interested in golf. Some people are interested in polos or sports. So let's say sports. Some people are interested in the arts. Other people may be interested in just reading. And so if this is something that we're disinterested in, or we don't truly have an appreciation for, it can be very difficult to form that habit of being interested in what other people are interested in. In the book, it talked about President Roosevelt, Theodore Roosevelt, and just how much of a humanitarian he was. And he studied people, and he related to people very well. One of the things that he did was, if he knew he was going to entertain guests, over the weekend or the next day, he would stay up pretty much all night reading up on things that they were interested in. So let's say you're interested in golf and I have no interest in golf, and I'm going to be entertaining you. Perhaps we're going to sit down and have lunch together, or perhaps I'm going to have you as a guest. Whatever the case may be, if I'm meeting up with you, I might read up some on the PGA golf tour. I may read up some on different swings, different irons, different things about the sport. Perhaps there was an interesting clip or article that I read about it. Not to the point that you're being fake, but so that you have something interesting to talk about with that people, to have some type of common ground. It's amazing. The book really shows different examples, and what I really love about How to Win Friends and Influence People is it gives you examples of other people, and it's not just about one perspective, about how people went out. And again, I talked about the book. The book itself is a conglomerate of Dale Carnegie, his messages that he learned, but that he also sent his students out to test the theories, and they came back and they talked about it, and they would edit it, they would add different things in. So it's a book of over 20 years of success stories compiled together, okay? So that's what I like about it. It's the strength. And so if you want to get somebody to really tell you about themselves, get on a topic that they're interested in, okay? So I'm going to flip the script and talk about business, okay? So let's say if you're trying to win someone over in business, and I was in my line of work prior to what I do now. Really, I still deal with people, but my line of work in the banking industry, it was very important that I did this. And I wish that I had this tool, or knew it to the effect, or to the level that I know it now. But when you're going to get something from someone, or you're going to build a relationship with someone, from the time that you step in that room, it becomes about that person and not about yourself. Okay? So if you really want to find out about a person, get on a topic that they're interested in. Ask them about themselves. Ask them about their family. Find out about, their business, whatever the case is. If you're really trying to become interested, or really trying to find out about something from someone, then you have to get them on a topic that they're interested in and let them do the talking. Too often we get in a place of wanting to throw our opinions out there. And this is something that I've had to draw back from, is always having to cast my opinion, always having to be heard inside a room. You learn 10 times more by allowing other people to speak in the room and gathering that information. Actually, you may find that by holding back your opinion for an appointed time within that meeting or within that time frame, or holding back your advice, that your advice increasingly or exponentially becomes more valuable. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a room before where you knew clearly that this person had wisdom, that this person had information, but they just didn't seem to talk, and everybody's kind of throwing out their opinions, throwing out suggestions and recommendations, all these types of things, and then someone in the room goes, well, what do you think about it? That person that's just been sitting back, holding back the recommendations and the suggestions, and now their word becomes increasingly valuable because they held that opinion, because they allowed other people to become important in the room, and they themselves gain that importance by allowing other people to take the stage and take the spotlight. See, really what we all want is to be made important, or to feel as though the things that we're talking about, the things that we have given our lives over to, the things that we have turned our interest over to are important. And so when we get that importance from other people, then we're often able to share that spotlight with other people. Think about conflict resolution. How well does it work if someone is in conflict with you, if you immediately come back at that person with conflict? No, the situation only escalates. But when you allow that person to get their points out, get their frustrations out, it's much easier to resolve that conflict and to move forward. And you're showing that person, hey, your point is valuable. Your point is important to me. And because your point is important to me, then you're able to win that person over, and they're able to be a little more rational in terms of moving forward. So being interested in people, also being interested in the things that people are interested in, okay? So if you find, you may say, as you're trying this for the first time, that it comes off as ingenuine or being fake, right? And so you say, okay, well, how do I, do this and become truly interested in what other people are interested in? Because you may find that you're only interested in things that you're interested in, and you're not particularly good at sharing the stage, sharing the spotlight with other people. So how do you do that? Well, just like anything else, you have to practice it. So if I was going to take you swimming for the first time, and you had no interest in swimming because of just your background, you don't even like water, and so that's not your thing. But you say, you know what? Okay, I just think I need to, for whatever reason, I need to know how to swim. Well, I'm not going to push you in the water for the first time. No, I'm going to take you to the pool. I'm going to take you to the beach or wherever it is. I'm going to let you see the water. I'm going to talk to you about it. I'm going to tell you about some of my experience. I'm going to show you other people swimming so that you're able to do what? Build your confidence and build an affinity for having respect or having that ability to swim. So it's the same thing in having conversation with people, or being truly or genuinely interested in other people. I'm going to have you around other people, or just put yourself in the atmosphere where other people are first. That's half of the battle. So if you show up for a meeting, or you show up for at an organization or a gathering, don't always leave early. Don't always show up late, because if you always show up late, or if you always leave early, then you miss the opportunity to build relationship with people, right? And so I've started practicing that as even some of the meetings that I go to. When I go to meetings, I try to show up a little earlier. I try to leave a little later so that I can ask people about things in their life. Hey, we only meet once a month for this meeting, so let me find out a little more about you. How are your kids? How's your family? If you've told me something that you're interested in, or a venture that you have, then I'm going to ask you about that venture. Maybe you chose to start something. So the thing is, picking up at the last point in conversation that you have with that person. Okay? And why is this important? It's important because it takes other people to get where you're going. And if you're only genuinely interested in yourself and in the things that you have going on, then you're going to make it 10 times more difficult, or exponentially difficult, for you to accomplish that goal. And really, you're going to render yourself ineffective, because you're going to realize that it takes other people to get where you're going. Not that you're trying to mold people or craft people or make them do things that you want to do, but it's about growing together. Is, hey, how can I support you? How can we support each other so that we're able to collectively find some good out of this thing, okay? So it's about moving forward together. So if I am just only interested in what I'm doing, let's say, I have my business that I'm building, and my business is to just say sell cars and manufacture cars. But I'm only interested in doing my business. Every time I get a phone call, I'm always ignoring it. Every time someone asks me, "Hey, can you come out? I'm having a function. Can you come out and support?" And I'm always saying no, and I'm always doing that. I'm too busy. I'm always focusing on this, and I'm only focused on what I have going on. What type of response do you think I'm going to have when it's time for me to share my product, or for me to share what it is that I have going on? I'm going to have the same negative response, because it's that law of reciprocity. What you put out is what you're going to get back in. And so, yes, as we're working on our purpose, yes, as we're moving forward, we need to be resilient. Yes, we need to be always working. We need to be up late. We need to sometimes rise early, all these different things. Yes, that's important to be very aggressive in the things that we're trying to do, but we can't be so aggressive that we cut other people out. Okay? And some of us, and I'm going to go back to that being genuine with other people. If you find it hard to be genuine with other people, or find it hard to build relationships with other people, it may be because of something that happened in your past, right? Maybe it's you didn't have you had some bad experiences with people, bad experiences with relationship, bad experiences with trying to collaborate with other people. Well, let me ask you this: in eating, have you ever had food poisoning? Have you ever had bad food before? Have you ever been served, food where the service was not good? I would probably say most of us, if we live long enough, we say yes to all three of those. But it does not stop us from eating, right? It does not stop us from seeking to nourish ourselves. And so we have to always continue to have that same mindset in dealing with people. That yes, there are people out there that, I wouldn't say bad people, but yes, there are people out there that abuse the relationship. There are people out there that mistook our kindness for weakness. There are people out there that didn't truly know how to handle us as people. But it does not stop us from building relationships with other people, because it takes other people to get us where we're going. When I think about, let's just say if you were going back to some type of election, if you're going to move forward and be a servant, then it's not about you. It's about other people, and it's about how you can serve other people. And I think about just even service. As we're doing our purpose, we talked about that your purpose is larger than yourself. And if your purpose is only to get rich, your purpose is only to help your family, your purpose is only to serve yourself and not serve other people, then it's going to be much harder for you to move forward in your purpose. And when you meet roadblocks, when you meet obstacles, when you meet opposition, then it's going to be much easier for you to stop, because you don't have that true motivation of helping other people. And so that's why your motivation has to go beyond yourself. And you'll find often that when you meet an obstacle, or when you meet a roadblock, that you'll get that phone call, you'll get that message of encouragement, you'll get that text message that says, "Hey, keep pushing. What you're doing is encouraging me." And so God knows how to give you that encouragement at the right time, just when you need it, because you weren't so focused on yourself as not to focus on other people. And so there are an innumerable amount of benefits that come from supporting people, or treating other people the way that they're supposed to be treated, realizing that it takes more than just yourself to get where you're going. It takes collaboration with other people. It takes respecting what other people have going on. Sometimes you may go into a meeting, or you may go into a room and say absolutely nothing. Sometimes you may call a lunch meeting just to hear what's on another person's mind. And what you'll realize is, as you're talking to people, you'll find where other people link up. You'll find where other people are able to benefit each other. For instance, if you have a t-shirt business, And I may know someone that is very good, that has a desire to monogram. They have their own business, but they're looking to limit some of their risk, and they're looking to partner with someone. Well, if I'm always talking, I'm always talking about my business, if I'm always talking about what I have going on, then I would totally miss the opportunity to connect other people. I totally miss the opportunity for those two people to support each other and to support me and for me to support them. But if you're listening to people, the puzzle pieces will start to come together. You'll find that you will get where you're trying to go faster by helping other people. So let me put this together, okay? Let's just focus on business, or let's say you have a nonprofit that you want to start and you're trying to be all things for that business. You're trying to be the marketing for that for that business. You're trying to be the salesperson. You're trying to be everything. You're trying to be the accountant. You're trying to be every single thing that you can be for that business. First of all, that's called a small business. Second of all, you're going to reach a plateau because you can only do so much without duplicating your efforts. But let's say you were able to build friendships and partnerships with other people. You may find that there are people that are willing to help you get off of the ground, right? You may find that there are in-kind services. So if you have a gift that you're able to share with someone else at a discount or at no cost, that person may be able to share that same benefit or share their skill with you at no cost, right? And so you're able to build a team of a collaborative team that has this one goal of pushing everybody forward. There's a group in Columbus, or not just in Columbus, but it's all over the nation, and it's called BNI. It's a group where they come together, and it's one. Each person represents individual trade. There's no duplication. So if I am an attorney, there's only one attorney in there, or one attorney that's geared towards a specific area. And so these people, they continue to grow together. They continue to make referral toward each other. They continue to support each other in business because they realize that together they're stronger. So let me ask you this. Maybe business is not your thing, but let me ask you about life. Just in life, just in general, if you have more people that are pushing you, if you have more people to collaborate with, if you have more people to encourage yourself, or more people to encourage, isn't life going to be much easier? Isn't your life going to be much more effective? And I would say yes. Life is always much more effective when you build community. Even in the church arena, we talk about having small groups, because when you have small groups, you build community, because you only go to church maybe 2 times a day. Some of us are involved in other things at church, but it's important to build that community, somebody that you can phone quickly and say, hey, look, I'm going through this, I need you to pray for me, or hey, I need your help in this area, or hey, let's meet and let's talk about this specific thing that's going on. Yeah, I know we heard the word, but I need somebody to really talk to go through how to break this down as it pertains to my particular situation. I just need to go a little bit deeper, a little bit further under the surface to make sure that we're doing this. And so I say yes. So let me go back and review here, okay? What we're talking about is success is at least a 2-man job. So if you're going to be successful, you're going to have to depend on other people. You're going to have to open up and learn what other people like, learn about the things that they value, learn about their value systems. And if you truly don't build relationships well with people, realize that it might be because of something that happened in your past, or some things that happened in your past. And if there are things that happen in your past, then you have to practice to get beyond those things. Put yourself around people. Arrive a little earlier so that you can hear the conversation, and you don't always have to talk. Sometimes just being there, somebody may direct their attention towards you and ask you a question. And they ask you a question, they're inviting you into the conversation. If they're inviting you to the conversation, then that's an opportunity for you to build a relationship. Stay a little bit later. Don't always leave early, because if you leave too early, then you miss the opportunity to build relationship, to find out what things are going on in other people's lives, okay? And so you'll find that as you take attention or take focus, build focus on other people, that people will often come back to help you with the things that you have going on as well, okay? All right, guys, that's it for today. Enjoy your workday, enjoy your Monday, and have a great rest of the week. Take care.